Now, let's go on down here, if you will, and begin to look here in verses 5 to 7. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring all the wise men of Babylon before me, and they may make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. Then came the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. I want you to hold your place, go back to chapter 2 and verse 6 and 7, all right? So get the fingers moving, back to chapter 2 and verse 6 and 7, and we're going to find a very practical application today. Chapter 2 in verse 6 and 7, it says this, and this is the claims of the astrologers and the magicians, the procrastinators, your false prophets. They said, but if you show the dream and the interpretation thereof, you shall receive gifts, and so on and so forth. There, in verse 7, then answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. They could not. Now, look up a minute and let me tell you something. You have these Jeannie Dixons, you have these procrastinators running around today, and you have these fortune tellers and so forth, these stargazers, you have all of this, and you have all of your months that are given the, as far as, what are you reading on your horoscope and all these things. And I'll tell you something, folks, Satan loves to play with you, and he is playing with you. And if you think this is just a game going on, you got another thing coming. When they say on those little cards you read and so forth, they're going to tell you, pretty soon, you may laugh at it, but it's in your mind. Somebody told you that. And Satan loves that. But these astrologers and so forth here said, tell us the dream and we'll give the interpretation, but they could not. They could not do it. There is no fortune teller or anyone else in this world that ever can foretell your future except, now let me give you something. I just want to tell you something, how dangerous it is to be playing around with satanic junk in the horoscopes and everything else. Let me tell you something. You go to a fortune teller, you go to the astrologers and the signs and the stars and everything like that, and let me tell you, what you read on there, Satan will do everything to try to make it come to pass, to convince you there's something to it, to get you to buy another one and another one and another one and another one. He'll do that. Including, what if something is on there that says, you better stay in the house today, that could be endangering your life. There's someone who doesn't really like you. Do you know something, folks? Satan will try every way he can to fulfill that and kill you if he possibly can. Whether it be a brake line on the car, whether it be a drunk that he directs in your path, no matter what, he'll do anything he possibly can to try to bring it to come to pass. Christians are stupid enough in this day and age to be piddling around with horoscopes and all that kind of trash. You are dealing in the corner of Satan, dealing the deck, and we have a lot of Christians who do too dumb to know that. You're playing with death when you're playing with that kind of trash. You really are. No one can tell you the future. No one can proclaim what's going to happen except God himself. Okay, here the astrologers came. They couldn't tell anything. What's the dream? We don't know. We're just going to procrastinate. Let me say this. Look up here one second. We'll have to really fly. You find all of these false prophets and procrastinators making statements like there's going to be a tragedy in the family, the Kennedy family. There's always been a tragedy in the Kennedy family ever since the old man made all of his money and his fortune in bootlegging in the Prohibition days. Always has been. There's a curse on that family by God. Senator Kennedy today is very leery about ever running for the presidency of the United States because he's probably a dead man if he does it. What happened to Robert Kennedy? Was he assassinated? He sure was. What happened to his brother in World War II? He happened to be flying one of the planes and never knew what happened. Never seen it again. He's a nice-looking young man, never did come back. All the tragedies that have taken place. What happened to President Kennedy? Did he get assassinated? Got his brains blown out. Sure did. If you were Ted Kennedy, would you be stupid enough? He may. I don't know, but he's a marked man. He's a dead man if he does. He ought to know that, and I'm sure that he does. And he does. There's a mark on him. There sure is in that family. And it is by God and none other than him. But the point is, no one can tell the future except Christ and God.